Hi there. So you're about to watch the first video in the 13th chakra connection process. Now, this whole platform is incredibly fluid and it is evolving. I'm redoing videos, but I'm also just jumping on this time just to add a little bit to this particular video. You see, there's a few things I've been asked and I want to bring up. First of all, a modality can either connect by us connecting up and out, which is very similar to astral projection. So the 13th chakra version is an up and out version, or we can connect inwards. The kingdom of God is within your own heart. So we have things like heart gates where we connect inwards, and then we have up and out, things like theta healing and 13th chakra connection process. Now, I'm trained in a number of different techniques, 7 different modalities I think it is at the moment, and there's ones I prefer. My favorite one and my go-to one now, the most powerful one I use, is vortex divine energy healing. But the 13th chakra process is something which I can teach because I developed this one. Now, I've been asked how I developed it because it is similar to a couple of other modalities. I want to explain. When we're connecting into the heart, transmissions and channeling coming from the heart, that's something to do with the power and strength of your energetic system. When we're connecting up and out, we bypass that slightly and we're doing the astro projection side of things. However, when you're astro projecting, as you're going to start doing more and more and more with this particular type of process, we're not awakening. The awakening is much more pronounced when we're doing the heart focused one. We are going to use this technique to facilitate a deeper relationship, but when you're astro projecting, it's important for you to understand you're taking your egoic consciousness with you. Okay, so even if you're connecting to a 10th dimensional energy or a 9th dimensional energy, whatever it is, it's still going to be coming through the filter of your egoic identity. So I actually developed this one where I was actually in a class, angelic class. It was part of it. It was a vortex one, and I was talking to the Elohim. And when I was talking to the Elohim, they were talking about tools. So I want to, part of the idea of this is to create tools that you can use, and you can give them to other people. You can create a set of tools that are really good quality, teach them to people, and then, long after I'm gone, those tools can continue helping, developing. So, please use these tools. I just say, if you are going to use these tools, just credit me, right? If you're going to use any tools, where I'm using things like Access Consciousness, I credit the people that used Access Consciousness. So I'm not going to run around with the IP and all that kind of stuff. It is registered. However, you're free to use them, but when you use them, just credit me, or credit any tools you're using, credit the person you're using. Number 2, I want to explain that on this free version, around the digging, which I think is the second video underneath this one, or the third video underneath this one, I put attachments. So the blocks for the digging processes are in the attachments. Now, the digging process is actually part of the subscription model. This version that you're watching is for teachers and healers, so you should already know how to undo blocks. If you don't and you want help, or you do, but you like the way I'm doing it, or you just want to practice and that kind of thing, then the deeper path is for you. And on the deeper path, I put different blocks. So the same blocks, but also different blocks that are going more into core root issues. So to do that, there should be on most of the videos a link if you want to upgrade to that sort of thing. It's not a sales pitch, just explaining the difference. So hopefully that's not too much waffle, and I look forward to seeing you in the rest of the video. Hi there. So I just want to introduce you to the 13th chakra connection process. This is all about shadow work, okay? I didn't make up the 13th chakra. There's actually 144 different chakras. Each chakra is responsible for something different. The 13th chakra is actually our divine gateway. Okay, so when we're doing the connection process, we don't need to use all of the chakras, because when we get to kind of the higher chakras, they're kind of in our head and then out of our head and then back in our head and scrambles around a little bit. Now, the benefit of the 13th chakra connection process is that I know it works for a start. So no matter what modalities you've trained in, there are some modalities that are very good at certain things, other modalities that have a good analytical process. If I know the starting point that you're at, then I know where to walk you through and where to talk you through in terms of online training videos. This isn't necessarily how I do my work anymore. My system's evolved quite a bit and I do things slightly differently, but this is definitely a very good starting point. Now, the other side of it is that within our spiritual journey, there are things that are going to come up. For instance, if you're an empath, you might, when you're sensing into somebody, connect into their energy field. And if they're depressed, if they're down, if you're working with somebody with severe medical issues, like cancer or something along those lines, that energy isn't one you want resonating in your system. It can cause some pretty serious issues. So within this connection process, we have certain guards and certain protection layers in place. The 13th chakra, the way I'm going to teach you to do it, going up to source, automatically shields you from any negative energies that you might pick up. So it's a very important one to do unless you have a better way of doing it that you prefer to do it. So you don't have to, but I just seriously recommend it. Now, the chakras themselves, before I start the connection process, the chakras themselves, again, this isn't a massive education about chakras. We're not going to be using them in all of the different healings. They're a very good thing to develop because they are a big part of our sensing ability. But you get a lot of people that rely very heavily on, oh, we've got to heal this chakra, we're going to heal that chakra, and everything's going to change. It is not what we're doing. Okay, we're going to go quite a lot deeper in that. But just to give you a basic rundown of the full 13, just to start off with. So we have the sub-root chakra. Okay, so below your feet, about 2 or 3 feet, you have something called the Earth Star chakra, sub-root chakra. Now, this is the part of you that is connected into Gaia. It's beautiful chakra. It's one of the ones which is kind of classed as alive. It's got tiny little threads like a mycelial network, like mushrooms do. If you are into the archangel Sandalthorn, he's the archangel for the sub-root chakra. A lot of our life purpose, where we're meant to be, where we belong, who we're going to connect to, all of that kind of thing. That's all the information held in the sub-root chakra, what we're here to do, divine mission, etc., etc. So great chakra to activate, work on, and open up. And then we have the root chakra that we all know, grounding our physical relationship reality through the root chakra. This is also the chakra that connects to the elements and alchemy. If you're into alchemy, past lives, you want to bring those gifts through. That's the root chakra. Now, the first shamanic chakra would be the sacral chakra. So I forgot there. So the sacral chakra, we're giving and receiving, but this one is connected to nature. Okay, so we have life force, giving and receiving of life energy. And so it's a shamanic chakra because it's more connected to the nature realm, sister realm, depending on how you name it. Right. Then we have the next one up, a solar plexus chakra. Now this is actually connected to our physical relationship with the story of our life within society. If you think about someone like Ram Dass, says that all connection and all healing happens in connection with others. So if you're by yourself, you can't be insecure because there's no one there, right? It all happens in relation to your connection with other people. This is the solar plexus chakra. It's also the chakra that we use, that we refine and we define and we heal to develop our healed empath or empathic abilities. Not the empath, but the empathic abilities. And then we have the heart chakra. Okay, now the heart chakra is the first chakra that really connects to the spirit realm, really. So if you think about your family, your loved ones, our circle of love exists outside of love and death. We love people that have passed over, and we also have hopes and love for people that haven't been born yet. So the heart chakra. Now the heart chakra is different from your energetic heart. Do not get them confused. The heart chakra is also, in the energetic heart, is a massive sensing organ. It's a different way of sensing to the way that most people will do it. Most people sense through the astral. Heart sensing is a very different thing. Okay. Then we have the throat chakra. As we connect into the throat chakra, we're also connecting into creation, divine creation. We're connecting to sort of 5th and 6th dimensional consciousness. And now we've got more kind of the beginning of the angelic realm, lower guides, lower angels, higher guides, that kind of thing. Then we've got the third eye. Everyone thinks the third eye is the chakra for sensing. It is and it isn't. It's connected to the astral. We're looking more higher dimensional consciousness, laws of creation. We've got now going on with the third eye, but there's a lot going on there. So the third eye is not your pituitary gland and it's not your pineal gland, but they are very powerful sensing organs. So it's actually kind of next to them. Then we have the crown chakra. technically not actually a chakra, but we're going to call it one. It's just easier. Everyone does. A connection to divinity. Then higher up, we now have the soul star chakra. Okay, so beautiful chakra connected to divine cosmic intelligence. If you are into the starseed narrative, when you go through your starseed awakening, usually that is the soul star chakra. It's rumored to be sandal thorn for the sub-root chakra, the earth star, soul star chakra. It's the archangel Metatron. We get a lot of psychic activation when that happens. And as I said before, I believe it is the halo, because it is 2 feet wide in a big white circle about 1 foot to 1.5 feet above your head. Right, soul star chakra. Now, we have the 9th chakra, so I have some notes here. So the 9th chakra is actually back in the head. It's at the front of the head. Now, the 9th chakra is actually responsible for refining your sense of self, your identity. Okay. Now, this is also sits at the top of the Kundalini channel. So when people have Kundalini awakening and they have this amazingly powerful experience, and suddenly they have all this psychic activation, and they also don't really know, there's a lot of can be very emotionally destabilizing. What's usually happening there is that the gunk and the conditioning in the 9th chakra is being blown. Okay, and as it's being blown, suddenly this stable identity we have, you know, your comfort zone, for instance, your inner comfort zone is getting smashed up. You have a huge psychic activation because suddenly you've got less conditioning stopping you from doing it, from connecting psychically. We'll talk about that later. However, it's quite a destabilizing thing. 9th chakra. Be really careful with that one. So 10th chakra. Now the 10th chakra is your height again above your head. So if you're 5'4", then the 10th chakra, 5'4" above your head. 6 foot, 6 foot above your head. Okay. Now the 10th chakra, we're not really going to talk about too much. It's just related to a kind of a physical magic. It powers magic, but it's not the kind of magic like, oh, I'm manifesting this and I'm manifesting that. It's magic that you might use for earth grids and all that kind of thing, depending on, again, what modalities you use. Now, 11th chakra. Okay, so 11th chakra, back in your head, towards the front, responsible for delta waves. It's a meditative state. Don't know too much about delta waves. If you want to Google that, maybe I'll have a look at it. Then 12th chakra. This is going to be an important one. 12th chakra is 22 feet above your head. So think about the height of a house. Okay, the height of a house above your head, 2-story house. It's around 22 feet. This one bridges 8th dimensional consciousness into your 8th chakra. So it's kind of like a lightning rod for 8th dimensional consciousness. The consciousness of your soul is around 8th dimensional. And so your soul consciousness comes in. So when we have the deeper awareness, our soul awareness of what's going on, that's quite a big thing for our spiritual evolution. We're really connected to our soul's awareness, our soul's understanding of things, which is a lot kind of higher understanding without attachment to suffering, so much attachment to suffering. And that's usually coming in through that chakra. And then we have the 13th chakra. Now the 13th chakra, 66 feet above your head. This is the height of a church spire, usually, which I always find interesting. 66 feet, church spire, and they have a little cross. So the priest is standing there, his divine gateway, and they're imprinting a cross right on top of it, which, fair enough, it's a religious thing. So if you connect through to your 13th chakra, we can use that as a divine gateway. So what we're going to do in the 13th chakra process is we're going to do a meditative process where we shield ourselves, we connect to the 13th chakra, and then we use that to connect to source. And then from source, we're now surrounded in the love of divinity, and we can now ask and co-create. Energy follows thought. I'll explain that later on. So we now have a higher ability to co-create with divine consciousness, divine energy, to what we're doing. Okay, and that's the idea of using the 13th chakra. So I hope that makes sense. I will now do the run through, which is probably much easier to understand. And again, you don't need to remember all of these things. The ones that are important are going to be in the run through. So look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.